In the past year, complaints of phishing among the elderly have increased eightfold, and phishing was already the biggest cybercrime. This dramatic increase is for a large part caused by the use of AI chatbots for writing scam emails and executing large scale attacks. But how successful are these attacks? And how difficult is it to get a chatbot to generate scam emails? Recently, Reuters published an article investigating these questions. And in this video, we will talk to one of the people who helped run the experiment. Phishing is a cyber attack in which an attacker impersonates a person or organization in order to trick someone into revealing sensitive information or performing a harmful action. One form of phishing that often happens is scammers posing as a bank or some other organization and asking you to log in. Once you do that, they steal your login details. Another attack is where the scammers send an email saying that you owe money, for example, to the IRS, and that you need to pay immediately. These kinds of scams often target elderly people because they have less knowledge about the internet and can be easier targets. There are many forms of phishing. This article specifically looks at email phishing.
We worked with journalists from Reuters, and we looked into kind of AI being used for scams and phishing. We then tested a bunch of language models if they would help us create these scam messages for older people, targeted older people. We basically found it was easy to do. We found on the one hand that we basically got all the major models to agree with us, with some much more than others, like Gemini being very willing to help us, well, Facebook models like Llama being very, very willing to help us, and other models like Claude or OpenAI being a bit more secure, but you'd have to try a bit to get this email out.
In other words, if you ask a chatbot to write a phishing email to scam elderly people, it will refuse. But if you say that you're writing a script for a movie where an elderly person gets scammed and you need a phishing email for the script, it will give you what you want. Some of the AI companies talk a lot about being responsible and preventing misuse. But as you can see, it is extremely easy to get around their guardrails. So essentially, they're just lying about being responsible.
I don't think that restrictions are like particularly meaningful. I don't think any of these restrictions are really going to make a big difference. I was, I think, surprised by just how easy it is to get over the guardrails. That we send it out to these senior people and we just essentially measured how many of them would then actually visit these kind of fraudulent websites.
They found that 11% of the seniors clicked on the email sent. According to the FBI, last year seniors have lost $4.9 billion to online fraud. And generative AI made the problem of phishing much worse. Over time, the way phishing scams work is changing. The best known phishing scams consist of generic mass emails saying you have won a prize or your account has been compromised. These scams are often easier to spot and they rely on volume instead of sophistication. Some scammers also write targeted emails to individuals. This is called spear phishing. The emails they send out look a lot more convincing because they include personal information. But writing these emails takes a lot more time. Because of this, they can send out much less volume. But now, scammers can just ask a chatbot to write a personalized email with perfect grammar. This allows them to send personalized spear phishing emails at a larger scale.
In the past, we had actually done studies where we would have an AI agent browse the web for people's information, and then each person actually getting their own email just based on our prompt. But each person having like, based on them doing this job, being interested in these topics, they then get an email about somebody like inquiring about these precise topics or offering them something on these precise topics with some deadline. That kind of stuff, we got 50% of people. Right? We had a human study on that, then we got more than 50%. So that's going to be a lot more effective.
Scammers don't only target individuals, but also organizations such as banks. A person who leads the cyber fraud unit at his bank said that they receive between 150 and 200,000 phishing emails per month. The numbers never go down. They only go up, he said. Phishing attacks are not limited to just emails. Another form of scamming that has seen an increase because of AI is voice phishing or vishing. A version of this is when parents get a call from their child who tells them that they are abroad and need money urgently. AI makes a scam believable by allowing the attackers to clone the voice of the child. And there are many other forms of voice phishing. These can include cloning the voice of a CEO, a colleague, or a family member. These scams are dangerous because the sound of a trusted voice can easily trick people. Deepfake scams take this even further. They involve online meetings where the attacker clones both the voice and the appearance of a trusted person, such as a CEO. These scams can also be very effective, and one company lost $25 million after a finance employee was tricked with a deepfake. Phishing is named after fishing, as in catching fish. You put out a line and then wait until someone falls for it. And the more lines you can put out, the more chance you have of getting lucky. As we have seen, AI is used to automate large parts of the phishing process. This allows scammers to scam on a larger scale, which means that more people fall victim to these attacks.
The Reuters article also read into detail. They interviewed some of the people that successfully got kind of scammed by us, and one of these people actually said very recently they had been a victim of a scam where the bank basically stepped in and prevented their transaction. The other person told us that many people around them had been scammed frequently.
Since the launch of ChatGPT, phishing attacks have already increased by more than 4,000%. In the future, when AI will get better at impersonating people, and when scammers will be using chatbots on an even larger scale, you can expect to see even more of these attacks. At this point, you might expect that these companies would do something about it, but they don't. Every time someone misuses their products, they blame the attackers, then they say they will fix it, and then they don't do anything. By the way, they still haven't done anything about it. Besides phishing, there are many other harms that AI is causing. And some AI companies present themselves as responsible AI companies that care about preventing these harms. This is obviously a lie. They have known about these kinds of harms for a long time, and they still haven't done anything about it. That is why regulation is urgently needed. Right now, there's almost zero AI regulation, and there are even efforts to prohibit states from passing AI regulation. This is being pushed by the AI lobby, which has put more than $100 million towards lobbying against AI regulation. Needless to say, this effort is extremely unpopular, and pretty much every poll shows that people want more AI regulation, not less.
We would hope that those systems have a good guardrails in the future. I mean, if we get higher stakes, yeah. I mean, with current models like Claude, it seems to be possible to run like pretty good cyber attacks now. That seems to be a real thing that people are doing. That there's like we are getting to a point where if the guardrails fail, there's some real harm being done. What we're doing here is kind of very minimal stuff. It just kind of speeds up scammers or makes scams more effective. But what people have been doing with Anthropic, Cloud Code, this kind of stuff, like actually running cyber attacks almost autonomously, that was a total failure of the guardrails, so that prevented that. There will be a point, where guardrails will have to prevent like significant harm. And currently they're failing at that.